Hey everybody.
Hi everybody.
Welcome to Scott and Mary's Ping Pong Podcast. Although if Karen gets her way, we may be changing the name.
Table tennis podcast.
Table tennis talk.
Table tennis talk.
So this may be Ping Pong Podcast number 83 or 84 or something, or maybe table tennis talk number 1. We're not really sure yet.
Since ping pong is trademarked.
So we can't own the product.
We can't own the product of ping pong podcast. We call it. Unless we spell ping pong different.
Like P-E-N-P-A-N-G-U-E. Ping pong. P-A-N-G-U-E.
Extra N's or something. We have an audience.
If you misspell it, that's not trademarked. Yeah, very small people.
It's very small. Watching foosball. And watching us.
We've had a couple of episodes where we had kids come and play with us, and that's kind of a wild card. Huh?
Usually not that young.
There's something in acting about never work with kids or animals. They're either going to outshine you or they're going to make everything go crazy.
It's going to go horribly, horribly wrong.
You're never going to win. So Jacob got Mary some ping pong paddles and balls for the house, even though we don't have a ping pong table. So we've been experimenting with playing on the other tables in our house. And so far we played on our dining room table, we played on our breakfast room table, and we played just bouncing it off the floor. We were kind of experimenting. Before we had the paddles, we were just bouncing the ball without the paddles. So I may post a video we did a few days ago after our Peach Bowl / Fiesta Bowl party.
Yep.
We haven't figured out if it's a full ping pong podcast, table tennis talk. But we shall see. My mom had surgery this week, so we've been a little
Anxious?
/ judicious on our ping ponging. We've been trying to get our exercise in, but because of my plantar fasciitis, which is basically arch pain in my foot, we're trying to take it kind of easy. We finally got Sabrina back to Denver. She got back there yesterday. And unfortunately, she learned some of the lessons that we taught her, which is if you have a choice between taking a cab or riding the public transportation, when you're traveling, ride the public transportation because you're going to meet people and see stuff you wouldn't otherwise see in the back of a car. The back of a taxi, you're not going to meet anybody or see anything. Make you look out the window, but you're not going to have all the fun stories. And so she took...
Less anecdotes.
Like in New York, we'll take the subway. We won't take a car to the airport generally. Sometimes it's a bad idea, too.
Sometimes it is a bad idea to take the subway to the airport. But, never mind. Sabrina's story about taking these public trams to back to her dorm. Where'd it go? Oh, today's episode sponsored by Mountain Bike with price tag $229.
See that dance.
Close out.
Everybody needs a $229 mountain bike downstairs at Sears. So Sabrina,
While supplies last.
we kind of talked to her about, she had all these health problems last quarter, and she also had problems when she was traveling to Austria. That, in fairness to her, she handled pretty well. The health problems she wasn't really able to kick without her help, but the travel problems she always seems to kind of get through. And so her flight was delayed 2 or 3 hours, but we didn't go to the airport until a little later than we were planning on going. And it got delayed a little bit more. And when she finally did get to Denver, on Southwest, out of Long Beach.
That really loud noise you're hearing is somebody trying out one of the treadmills.
And you shouldn't buy that treadmill.
It's a really loud treadmill. I don't think they actually turn it on. I think they're just walking on it on the tread itself without pushing start.
So there is a RTD is the train service in Denver, and there is a stop at the airport, and there is a stop at Sabrina School, University of Denver, and you do have to change once. And apparently you can either change downtown or you can change in or near Aurora, which is kind of the eastern side as opposed to downtown's on the western side. And so I guess she routed it and saw that it was quicker to take a bus to a train and to go down the eastern side, which is usually the way we get there. It's not going through downtown. You can also go through the city, but I got a ticket doing that, so we don't do that anymore. The shortcut, they've got cameras that take pictures of how fast you're going, and everybody's going, 47 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone or something, so everybody gets a ticket. It's all by mail, it's horrible. So we take the freeways whenever possible now. We also got a ticket when we were visiting Kaylin in outside of Houston. And we took the little roads instead of taking the freeway. Once again, the speed traps and just ridiculous. So we try to stay to the bigger highways as much as possible. So anyway, Sabrina took a bus to the train, but apparently she got off at the wrong stop. But then she found out that she was going to take an Uber. But then she found out that there was a different train there that also went to where she was going. So she took the different train. Problem was, when she eventually did get to school, it was 16 degrees out, and she still had to go walk about 5 or 6 blocks.
And so the train station's still 5 or 6 blocks from her room, and so she had 2 rolling bags and a backpack, and she'd forgotten to bring the gloves home with her to California because she figured she didn't need gloves in California, not thinking she was going to need them on the trip back to her dorm room. Deep under here. Excuse me.
Crash, bang, disaster.
Ping pong.
Big much fun.
So when she was walking from the train station to her dorm, she met somebody. There's the anecdote of not taking the Uber.
She met a young man who also lives in her building who had way more luggage than she did, but was walking the same distance. And so they walked together, and she said there was just enough snow on the ground to make it hard to roll their rolling bags, but not so much they couldn't walk through. So apparently she stayed with the young man so that he would have somebody to walk. She said, yeah, I could have walked in 15 or 20 minutes, but his stuff kept falling off, and I wasn't going to leave him. So.
Students returning to classes with a little too much luggage for walking, but they managed, I guess. Whoop!
She said he said something to her to the effect of, yeah, you're coming back for no reason too. Because the dorms are open, they've got a 6-week break, but you can still be in the dorms if you want to. Her friend Angel has been in the dorms because she's working on campus, and so she's been staying and working, been all by herself. And so today when I talked to her, she did survive the walk back to her dorm. She and Angel were having a grand old time. They were going shopping together, and they were having dinner together, and all sorts of stuff. And they're both in the same major, and so they sing together and all sorts of stuff.
Did you see her Snapchat last night about unpacking her suitcase?
What did she say in her Snapchat about unpacking?
She was not surprised. She said, after walking back in 16-degree weather, I opened up my suitcase to change clothes, and all my clothes inside are cold. I can't change. She didn't have any warm clothes to put on.
But she was in a nice warm dorm room, so.
She was in a nice warm dorm room. She had her clothes on. She just was looking, I think, for her pajamas or whatever, and went to pull them out, and they were freezing. I assume she just set them aside and let them warm up for a while.
Some of you may know my mom from the Ping Pong podcast.
She was a guest once.
Or may actually know my mom. But today in Australia, where she is with my sister, is her birthday. So we want to wish my mom a happy birthday and many more. She's actually in the hospital right now because she had some
spinal lumbar fusion stuff. Not lumbar.
Not spinal.
Vertebrae.
She has some vertebrae fusion in there.
Well, lumbar's a specific part of your back.
So she's still in the hospital there, but she's recuperating. It sounds like she's getting a lot better. So it's nice to hear. We're going to call her later.
We're waiting for her afternoon, which is our evening.
Okay, so they're 17 hours ahead, which is also the same thing as behind 5 hours, but tomorrow.
So if you could follow that math, there's going to be,
It's 5 hours ago, but tomorrow.
5 hours ago, but tomorrow.
So Serena's got an exercise routine, and she's got a practice routine, and she went today to the market to get food because they've got a kitchen in her
Well, and the
suite.
dorm meal plan doesn't start up till Saturday, I think. So they have to either eat out or cook in because meal plan doesn't. Not that the meal dining hall isn't open to eat. I don't know if it's open or not, but I know that their meal swipes don't kick in until the term actually starts on Saturday.
Oh. She seemed pretty excited to be getting back. And we kind of talked to her about.
They just pay cash from their dining dollars, so it's not. She went, and if it's open. Sorry, I interrupted. What did you say?
We asked her whether she wanted us to take her back.
Yeah.
But she's had some trouble traveling the last couple of times, both to Denver and Austria.
Sorry.
And she said she wanted to go back by herself. So I guess college is all about learning. So if you take them, they're not
Adulting.
Huh?
Adulting.
Adulting.
We're not.
So yeah, the next trip is she's got to theoretically come home for spring break, and then as soon as summer starts, we've got a wedding in Branson for Kirby's daughter Alexi, and then she's supposed to be in Berlin the next week. So we haven't quite figured all that out yet. We know we're at least going to take her to New York, where she can get a nonstop to Berlin. Of course, there aren't nonstops for Branson.
Well, there's not nonstop for Branson, nor are there nonstops from LA.
You can actually get nonstops to Chicago,
Ooh.
to Berlin, I think. Maybe not. Maybe that was London. Anyway.
We'll figure it out.
There's some art auctions in London that week, too. So we haven't quite figured that out. And so we're supposed to go back a month later for her performances, but it also conflicts with the All-Star break for baseball. And the All-Star game this year is at Dodger Stadium. So we haven't quite figured all that out. We don't know when her performances are going to be, et cetera, et cetera. So we may go spend a month in Europe and miss the All-Star game. We may go back and forth, back and forth. We may send her and then go meet her. We don't know. If anybody's got any ideas, let me know. If anybody knows anybody at the Berlin Opera Academy scheduling department, let me know.
Yeah, all you people with contacts in the Berlin Opera scheduling department, please get back to us.
And it's interesting. She kind of decided on Berlin pretty much the same way she decided on University of Denver. Just they were the nicest to her. And it's not the other people weren't nice. People at Chicago were perfectly nice. The people at Susquehanna were perfectly nice. The people at Halifax were perfectly nice. It's just they took the time to actually interview her from Berlin, and they were one of the ones with the earlier deadlines, and so we filled out the ones with the earlier deadlines first, and she got so many offers that she got 3 offers from 3 out of the 6, and the other 3 she just hadn't heard from.
But she needed an answer back to Berlin, so.
Is that right? No, she got offers from 4 of us. Is that right? No.
She had Halifax,
Right.
and she had Chicago.
Right. She had
had
Hawaii and Berlin.
Oh, Hawaii, I didn't know.
But she got Hawaii like an hour after
Push the button.
after we paid the deposit for Berlin, but same day. But I think really all along she kind of wanted to go to Berlin. One of the things they say is there's like 1,800 opera performances in the United States a year, whereas there's 9,000 in Germany. And Germany's, like a quarter of the size, like a quarter of the population. So it's sort of the world center of opera in Berlin. And the head of the program is Canadian, and they had a really nice phone interview. It's really appreciated and liked. And she got a part where she'll be in the show many times with many lines, even though there aren't any solos. She's part of a group of 3.
Trio of sprites.
And we were watching it on video that she could download from the school library. And they kind of, in the ones we were seeing, they were kind of flying in and saving the day every time one of the characters in the Magic Flute tries to kill themselves, which happens a lot apparently. So there was a much bigger part in Chicago, but she felt the role was a little too hard for her. And the one in Halifax, she would have had her own song, but the opera wasn't quite as fun. She's also doing Magic Flute.
And we would have had to go to Halifax.
No, it's easier to get to in Berlin.
It is easier to get to than Berlin, but it's not exactly a mega capital
Right. She also could have gone to Hawaii, and it was really more that they were late. But the part that she got offered there was sort of one of a little group like this as well, but not quite as named, not quite as recognized. It was the three-penny opera as opposed to the Zauberflöte, which is the magic flute in German. So she's going to be doing the magic flute in English, German music, but English. There's a lot of talking at University of Denver this quarter, and then she's going to be doing Die Zauberflöte in German in Berlin in the summer. But she'll know the music already, and I think she's going to work out with the people who have that part in the opera at University of Denver, so she'll be really well prepared. They also offered to have her learn a role in one of the other operas they're doing, which is Die Fledermaus. But we don't know if she's going to have the time to do that or not.
What's Die Fledermaus translate to?
I don't know. Karen?
It's not like something well-known like magic flute?
No,
We don't know. Learning about operas. And donut paddle for...
It's by Strauss, not by Mozart. Mozart, Magic Flute's Mozart. Johann Strauss wrote Die Fledermaus. The other one was Dido and Aeneas. I don't know who wrote it. In Halifax. Three Sisters Who Aren't Sisters, Gertrude Stein in Chicago, and Three Penny Opera. I don't know who wrote it in Hawaii. They said at Berlin they had 2,000 applications. And they run 4 shows with 3 casts each, so they have a lot of people. They've got a couple hundred people over the summer in basically 4 different groups. There's about 50 people in each group, I imagine. But, still, they only take 1 out of 10, and they take Sabrina, and vice versa. And most people will go and audition in person for these, but Sabrina submitted video auditions because she's just not experienced enough to take the leading roles, and so she figured, hey, if you want somebody who's going to pay the tuition and sing a supporting role and who is in a semi-professional or pre-professional program in a big-time music school and has been abroad many times before and is used to it and has been in operas before, here you go. And we sent videos of her singing. Three we mostly sang were Mia Stizzoso from the Austria last year, where she was at the Sound of Music Castle.
Woo!
Trying to keep it in the yard. She did Mandoline from her performance class in Denver, and I think she sent what's the German song she sang in Austria at the Liederabend there in the
During the midterm
concert.
Yeah.
I'll remember it later. It's a lot to keep track of as an opera dad.
I don't know which is more confusing, opera dad or econ dad.
Well, it's with opera dad I don't know. I try to keep up with Jacob.
Jacob starts talking and goes off on a tangent, and you're like, okay, Jacob, I'm glad you understand this because I'm lost. But then it's not my job to understand his project. Ooh!
The trick shot, ladies and gentlemen. So Jacob, I try to ask questions that make him feel like I'm listening. I try to understand it enough to be able to discuss it with him. But some of the talk is kind of technical where I have to say, okay, imagine you're talking to somebody who doesn't know anything. Now try to explain.
And try to explain again.
The line from Ghostbusters is, you never studied.
Yeah. Well, there's also that line in Friends where they're talking about Chandler and Monica are talking about the new house they're going to buy, and Monica says, did you see the wainscoting and the dormer windows and the whatevers? And he goes, Chandler says, did you see the gleep glorps and the zip zops? And she goes, what's that? And he goes, "It's one of those things you just said." Right? Same kind of thing. He starts talking about stuff I don't know what it's talking about. But I like to learn about his projects as much as possible.
So he's back at school this week, studying. And school actually doesn't start for him until February. But there's like an interterm that he's not taking a class. But apparently the professors will be back and working, the researchers. Which
I
think
assume
is
he'll
very
be back
nice.
and doing research too at the institute, so he'll be getting his hours in running.
I don't know if there's
Research
enough.
projects.
I don't know if there's enough students to do the experiments.
Really? Even during interim? Maybe? I don't know.
Anyway, so
We'll
he's supposed
see.
to start working. He was doing like 10 hours a week last quarter, even though he was supposed to be 0. And so this quarter he's supposed to be doing up to 19 hours a week. So we shall see.
Starting in February when the spring term really starts, not the winter interim term.
So thanks to everybody who came over for our Peach/Fiesta Bowl party. It was fun. Got to show off our new
Broke open the
fire pit.
first seal of house guests for the new house.
Got to show off our new gallery room upstairs for our art. Got to
Discovered we need a table outside for fireside marshmallow roasting because you need a place to set stuff down.
That's too much goo.
Too much
Not enough counter.
crackers and chocolate, and yeah, we need a table outside.
So we did do both roasted marshmallows and s'mores. And then didn't Sabrina do hot dogs?
Sabrina did do hot dogs, yeah. Did I get your pants?
Shoe.
Ah, shoe point.
Nope, no points for shoe. No points for shoe.
No points. So not shoe points, but shoe touching.
So we had sushi that we got from Sushi Boy, and we went to Veggie Grill. We were going to get mac and cheese. That Sabrina likes, and Riley likes. And,
Riley didn't come.
Riley didn't come.
Maybe she didn't come because we didn't get mac and cheese.
But they've apparently cut mac and cheese off of their catering menu, and the guy who was managing there said they didn't have a catering menu, but they got a catering menu on their website. So we went a couple days ahead of time to order it. They said, "Oh, just come, call before and you can order it." And then we said, "Okay, we're here to, we didn't order it ahead, but we just came with enough time that they could make it and we could come back." They said, "Oh, we don't do that anymore." So they said you can order mac and cheese, but it's like twice as much as it was on the catering menu. I was like, no. So we had grapes that we never took out, and we had cherry tomatoes of 2 or 3 different kinds we never took out. And
We had ice cream cones. We
never
had
took out.
something else we didn't take out, dessert-wise, I think.
We had chocolates though, that 4 or 5 different kinds of chocolates, and peanuts or cashews from Trader Joe's that we like to put out. We had those corn appetizers from Trader Joe's. that
And
we
Trader
never-
Joe's appetizers we never got to, but we did get the IKEA meatballs made.
We had meatballs from IKEA,
We had meatballs from IKEA.
and we had little carrots.
Well, I'm glad we had meatballs from IKEA because without the hot tray of mac and cheese, it was the only warm food we had.
It was a
Everything
little
else
chilly,
was-
and we had the whole wall.
Oh no, that's not true because of the hot dogs over the fire and the marshmallows.
Right, but it was nice. Worked. It was great. It was easier than the. Well, I don't know, it was easier than the mac and cheese, but it was close. And it's good, and nice to have. We had. Never got the salad out because we had 10 or 15 people, and we had people coming in and out. So I think.
Like
first one was
Jordan
Isabel.
and
came
Lon stopped by, but they didn't stay and eat because they just came, just kind of take a tour of the house. So we had people come who didn't necessarily partake of anything from the buffet, and so we had a lot of food.
But the Bards came, who were in town from Texas. That was nice. And the Schreiers came. We always enjoy seeing. And Janet Hoffman came down. She was the first adult there. Sabrina's friend Isabel was the first other guest. But we started the party out, obviously. We kind of always do with the 4 of us, me and Mary and Jacob and Sabrina. It's like, I wonder if anybody's going to come. And then by, halftime of the Ohio State Clemson game, it was a pretty full room. We had the doors open all the way to the back deck and then to the lower deck. It got cold after a while, so we closed them up. But then people still went outside and roasted marshmallows and
We
stuff.
had about an hour of the door open because we kept the door closed with the shades windows so you can see the TV. And then from about 4 o'clock till it got too cold, so maybe an hour and a half, we had the door fully open. But yeah, it's really hard to be in that room and watch television in the late afternoon without the shades drawn. Because the full sun reflection off of the ocean is just blinding on a clear day where there's no cloud cover.
And particularly that time of the day.
Yeah, 3 o'clock is just brutal.
Just the sun comes straight into the window because the sun is
And it's reflected light. It's just bouncing
off the ocean.
Bouncing off the ocean, just bright as all get out. So one of the things that hasn't been put in on our house yet is the shade awning. It won't help that much in the late afternoon because the angle will be wrong. But
I did ask Pete about getting a roller to go out in front of it.
oh, a roller
Get
that comes down on the end?
Roller shade in the end.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll be able to get that in.
That would help. Would you be able to lower that and get some shade? Oop. I missed the table entirely.
I think we've gotten to the point of our final volley, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you've enjoyed all our stories about our weekend. We're talking about having a Super Bowl party, which is also February 2nd, which is also Jacob's 22nd birthday. So it's 2/2/2020 is Jacob's 22nd birthday.
Who's winning?
We don't keep, well, we keep pants points. We only keep points when you hit somebody else's pants with the ball. And nobody's done that today. She's hit my shoes once or twice.
We don't really keep actual points because we hate to chase the ball.
I used to love playing out as a kid.
You're saying you're not a kid anymore?
Oh. I'm not old, I'm experienced.
We got a final volley. Oh, so anyway, we're going to have a party for Super Bowl, I think, on February 2nd to celebrate both the Super Bowl and Jacob's birthday. So I hope you can all join
Now
us.
on your calendar. It's also Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, / Groundhog's Day party.
Groundhog's Day. We could show the movie Groundhog's Day on one of the non-Super Bowl televisions. Just for funsies. Bill Murray, I don't doubt.
We had a little problem with the TV in the living room that was kind of flashing black every once in a while. And it hasn't done it since, so we had the TV on for a long time, but
I turned the TV on for the Cotton Bowl, so it was on for the Cotton Bowl and the Peach Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl.
so it was misbehaving.
It was misbehaving late in the day. I think it was just on too long. It didn't like to be on all day.
Well, we may be in the market for a new television for the living rooms. So
That
we
is
don't
true.
have a problem.
We may be in the market for a new television player. Because we figured out it's like a 2013, 2012, what we said?
We've had the TV for 7 years or so. So, you know, a 7-year-old TV probably.
Well, and we're talking about being able to upgrade to more Bluetooth stuff for speakers outside, and this TV doesn't have that capability, and so you know, there's just a lot of features that are available now this one doesn't have. And if it, I guess that's our final volley.
Hope you have a marvelous time today. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Got to put the price tag back on the table. And put the bike back.
What a buggin' for me. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the world's weirdest ping pong podcast from our kitchen with Jacob and Mary.
Kitchen Table Podcast.
According to our friend Karen, so she says that we're not allowed to use the term ping pong. We have to use table tennis because ping pong is trademarked. I guess we're just rebels. So Jacob got Mary a whole box of ping pong balls and a couple of ping pong paddles for Hanukkah. And we don't have a ping pong table, but we tried our dining room table and it was a little weird because there's lots of glass and it's kind of fancy and it's like 100 years old and we didn't want to mess it up. But this one is from IKEA. It was like $100 like 3 years ago. No, we don't care. It's like, I wonder if we could get a ping pong table and just use it as our breakfast room table when we're not playing ping pong.
interesting thought. Pants!
Did you hit Jacob's pants? It's 1-0.
Oh, that was interesting. It hit the grout on the floor and bounced in a different direction.
Bing! Table shot, corner shot, edge shot. Figure out the right words eventually.
Well, that was pretty entertaining for everyone.
It's all very...
Guess you can leave comments about how much you like our special breakfast room ping pong table setup.
As we have to dodge the chairs.
Pants?
Alright, your turn.
2-0. Alright, you gonna record?
Yeah, I'll record. You go.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, I have to have a wardrobe change.
Got to see a little bit of stomach skin there, ladies and gentlemen. Mary's six-pack.
Yeah. Six-pack! Six-pack of what, though?
What are the options?
I don't know. Is it like six-pack of bananas, six-pack of pineapples, six-pack of
Potatoes?
six-pack of what? We're talking
Rutabagas?
6-pack of
Pants.
Bobos.
Six-pack of hobos?
Bobos. Pop-Tarts.
Huh?
Bobos Pop-Tarts.
Oh, Bobo's Pop-Tarts.
Bobo's Pop-Tarts.
We had a fun party tonight. Several people came over. Got to show off our new art gallery. Got to show off our new deck. Got to show off our...
Roast marshmallows.
Got roast marshmallows. The TV didn't really behave. It kept flashing on and off, which means we need definitely a much bigger television. If anybody is looking to sponsor us in something, we have a sponsorship opening for the giant television in the living room.
You don't
This TV
have,
has never really
you don't have
misbehaved
wall
before.
space for that.
Oh, yes. Ah!
Not if you have any art next to it, you know.
There's nothing on that side of the TV.
Correct. You are nothing on that side of the TV.
I would rather our TV just worked and I didn't have to deal with it.
That would be nice.
That doesn't seem to be one of the options. We could also put the big one upstairs and use the little one. Mary tried to get a pants point on me and it didn't work. I defended my pants from the pants point. But currently you're up 2-0 on Jacob.
You have a pants point on me.
Oh, I've got 1 on Mary and Mary's got 2 on Jacob.
I yelled pants, but you were busy
So we've had a couple
not
of
paying
iterations.
attention to something.
We've had a couple of iterations of
Woo!
home ping pong without ping pong table since we got the balls last week and we got the paddles this week. First, we just sort of passed them back and forth between our two couches that kind of face each other. Right hand bounce, left hand bounce to each other. Then we got the paddles. We were kind of volleying back and forth, but in the air. Now the third iteration is
Playing on one of our tables.
playing on one of our tables with a hit my pants. So
Pants!
Mary's now got 2 on Jacob, 1 on me, and I've got 1 on Mary. We're not anywhere near the table.
And our impromptu
Hit my pants, but it was off my Myra activity.
net made out of the dining room tablecloth. Twisted so that it stands up a little height.
Those of you in the comments, guess at what time in this video we hit a ping pong paddle right into the TV. It's gonna happen. It's just a question of when.
This TV?
Probably.
Yeah, the one right behind you.
Yeah, but it's better than the other room. In the living room, we've got the big china cabinet. We've got the giant glass walls. Here, it's like, yeah, we hit this thing. Cost of doing business.
Cost of ping pong in the kitchen.
In here, but in there, it's like, you can't replace the 100-year-old table so easily, or the glass.
You want to swap out?
100-year-old hutch.
Yeah, I will be happy to swap.
Alright. You take that. I'll take
It's got a
that.
little bit of corner schmutz on it now. We went to the chupacabra corner, which we've got in our corner of our kitchen. So you want to talk about the football game?
Nope. Ohio State was oh so close, and refs were not so nice.
Yeah, so is that how it goes, or you're supposed to win if you're supposed to win?
I don't know. I think there were 14 points there, or a 14-point swing there that the refs kind of were responsible for. 7 towards Clemson, 7 away from Ohio State.
say one of your friends said sorry for jinxing it?
Yeah.
And what was the cause of the jinxing? Or is that not shareable?
I don't remember what her exact comment was. She just said something along the lines of, all right, Buckeyes are starting to look really good. And then Clemson scored on like the very next drive.
I'm not sure that's a full jinx. I think that's more of a comment at an inauspicious time. Or being too cocky, right? In fact, she's starting to believe. I think you might have gotten a pants point over there, but I'm not sure. You definitely have to do it a little extra light with a smaller table. You know what we also had to do? We were playing with paddles between the two couches. Whereas when you're playing with just the hands just bouncing, you can hit it pretty hard. And what we did is we kind of put a bunch of them in a vase, Mary put them in a vase, and then we would bounce them back and forth to each other until one goes past, and then we take another one out of the vase. And we knew we were done when the vase was empty. And Mary was nice enough to go get them.
And refill the vase for next time.
That was decent exercise. It wasn't quite walking. I found that when I don't walk, which is what we usually do at the mall, the reason we're usually there at Sears, so I can get my exercise and do my walking, that I feel better and gain weight much less quickly and stay in better shape. And so that's why we pants point.
Shoe point.
That's why we go walking every evening. But with Hanukkah and parties and Sabrina around and Jacob around, our routine has been a little...
Sabrina packing.
I don't know, that's affecting our walking.
No, it's not, but it's just a lot of stuff going on.
Me coming in and out.
I'm not blaming, I'm just saying that as schedules change, exercise changes too. So you have to be extra cognizant to do it. It's like with Sabrina, she didn't get a whole lot of exercise in last quarter at school, and so we planned into her schedule for this quarter. You know, take a couple of less classes, practice, plan in time for exercise, and music practice. You know, don't plan in time to eat. Don't try to do 19 units a quarter if it's not going to be a healthy way to do it. So it's one of the nice things about emptiness is that we get to do that, exercise. But you know, it's great when the kids are here. I'd much rather have that than exercise. Jacob's not too far away, but generally he's kind of busy.
Pants point.
From the back, yeah. I don't know. Does it count if it's from the back?
I don't know.
Or does it have to be on a direct shot?
It's your rules.
You have to claim the point when you get it.
Well, I said pants point.
Okay, so you got one on me.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Eh.
I think Jacob's coming after my pants now.
No, I was just trying to get it back on a good rhythm.
So who did we have here tonight? We had Debbie Shannon was here. And we had Janet Hoffman. And we had Steve and Betty Bard and Rachel Bard. And we had Dan and Tracy Schreier. And Sabrina's friends, Isabel and Phoebe. And was there anybody else?
Davidson's.
Davidson stopped by.
Elon and Jordan Davidson stopped by. So we had some people. It was a long day with 2+ bowl games. In the Peach Bowl, LSU beat up on Oklahoma. So it was kind of silly. We had a good time watching it. Janet came early, and so she got to see probably the second half. And then for Ohio State, everybody showed up, and we lit the fireplace, and everybody got to see the sunset.
Made some s'mores.
Made some s'mores, had some food. So it was, a nice time. If you don't count the
Pants point.
Dude, you're totally killing me on pants points. All right, you're up. 2 pants points, I think, means you have to switch out.
I think your pants are definitely getting in the way of.
I'm not sure this is our permanent set, but we're experimenting with sets. For if don't happen to be at Sears, you can still play ping pong. And it was kind of started off by Jacob buying Mary gifts for Hanukkah of ping pong balls and ping pong rackets. It's like you can play ping pong in many different places. You just have to be creative.
And we know that at least 2 of our neighbors actually have tables. Sort of.
Yeah, Merrick's have one outside.
There's someone outside, but it's kind of wonky to one side.
Yeah, but you said if you put it in another area, it's flat.
Yeah.
And Beth and John Wittenberry have a ping pong inset to their pool table.
Right.
And so it's funny that we're the ones with the ping pong podcast, but don't actually have a ping pong table. But we play at Sears, so.
Back to you.
Yep.
I hope everybody has enjoyed our ping pong podcast for this evening. My arms are tired.
Mine too.
I
This
think
is gonna
that
be
means
the-
it's time to cut it off.
This is the final volley, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't Ollie, because none of us want to hold the camera anymore. And we do not have it on a tripod. So, as you, I'm sure can tell by the handheld quality.
And I'm good. I'm keeping it alive.
That's it.
Hope
That's
you've
it,
had a
everybody.
marvelous
Hey.
time tonight. Boom, boom.